This time we'll move to item 4.3 on the agenda. I'd like to call forward Clearwater native, USF graduate, twice I believe, and a great representative for the city of Clearwater, Sean Schrader, to talk about the USA Youth Ambassador Program that he participated in.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor and Council. Good evening. It is great to see you all. I'm Sean Schrader, as you just mentioned, proud lifelong resident of our great city, and I'm grateful for a few of your minutes tonight to talk about a really life-changing opportunity I had to recently serve as a U.S. Youth Ambassador at the 2025 World Expo in Osaka, Japan. As you know, it was a little over a year ago I was here where I shared that I was going to spend the fall teaching English in Japan. And really great experience. Japan, I think, is so unique and so different from anywhere else in the United States or really anywhere else in the world. But I quickly realized I don't think I have the patience to be any kind of teacher. So while I was there, I was shared another opportunity to consider applying with Sister Cities International to serve as a U.S. Youth Ambassador. And somehow out of over, I think, around 1,500 applications, I was honored to be selected among 88 other youth leaders from around the country to embark on this initiative. So the World Expo takes place every 5 years. It happened in 2020 in Dubai. It's going to happen in 2030 in Saudi Arabia. And the closest similarity I think you can think about is what you might have at Epcot at Disney World. You have all of these countries, over 100 of them, that are really showcasing what makes them unique. Their food, their culture, their history, really famous destinations you might want to visit. And I think that it serves a lot of different purposes. You know, if you are a student maybe that wants to go study somewhere, you can really experience that. You want to go somewhere on vacation as a family or just to visit a different famous location, or even maybe if you want to invest in business opportunities. And so I think the Expo really gives you a lot of those benefits that are available to visitors that go. And so for the United States side, it is overseen at a very high level by the U.S. State Department. They really then contract a lot of their work out. For this particular expo, two of the main stakeholders involved, of course, Sister Cities International to oversee the Youth Ambassador piece, and then an organization called Trivani that does a whole lot in terms of the international event space, you know, with the FIFA soccer tournaments, the conference of parties, and all of those types of things with the Olympics. And so I traveled to Japan alongside a lot of my counterparts in March and spent March to the end of July working there. And it was a really great experience. The United States Pavilion in particular has a lot of different themes that they have focused on. I think one of the biggest is on American excellence, a lot of American innovation that's taking place with emerging technologies like AI, a lot of famous places you can visit in the United States, a lot of famous beaches on our coastline showcased in different pictures and videos. And then I think the biggest piece and draw of the pavilion was the focus on space. Everything that's happening on our other coast here in Florida with NASA, how they are continuing to explore the moon and have a really big push to go to Mars in the future. And I know it might surprise all of you, but I'm not a native Japanese speaker, don't even probably speak a fluent sentence of it. But when you're able to connect with guests, and when I was there, I was fortunate to help welcome, over 1 million guests throughout the experience alongside a lot of talented partners. You realize that things like space, things like seeing famous parts of the U.S., things like this technology are very exciting to people. And I think it gives them a good sense of what's going on in our country and some of the really exciting opportunities that are available. And I thought that was a really, really special part of the experience. And another great part of the experience was all of the opportunities to represent our great city. There are three in particular that I'm really proud of. While I was there, there was a group of students, middle school students going into high school, that are part of the Nagano Clearwater Sister Cities Exchange. I was fortunate to give them a personal tour of the pavilion, which was great, as well as sit down with them and give them some advice, for better or worse, in terms of how they might be able to get involved in the city in different ways or future types of international engagements. The next thing was really great was getting to actually travel to Nagano, I think just a few weeks ahead of when you all were there, to meet with a few different executives from the city and some local businesses And the work that they are doing, as you all know, is really, really cool in terms of how they are educating students on really universal themes like the Sustainable Development Goals, in terms of how they're practicing that in their education, how they're engaging with local businesses for students to really get technical training with worldwide companies like Daiso or Toyota. And I thought that was really, really neat, as well as seeing a lot of the cultural elements and, of course, the food, which is very different than anything we have here in Clearwater, but still very good nonetheless. And probably the most exciting thing I had the chance to do was the United States Pavilion, like almost every other pavilion at the Expo, had a National Day. The National Day for the U.S. took place July 19th, just a few days before I left, and I'm sure you all have been following the news between the United States and Japan over the last couple months. There's been a lot of work to get a trade deal underway and get that finalized. And so as a part of that National Day, President Trump sent a delegation to the World Expo, including Secretary Bessent, Secretary Mayer, the Deputy Secretary of State, as well as a few other senior advisors to the president, to really meet with Japanese leaders and really think about how they could move forward, and of course visit the U.S. Pavilion. And I was very honored to be asked to be among a few youth ambassadors to personally welcome them and shake their hand and everything. And that was a pretty cool experience, and really, really nice to talk to them and share a little bit about what we're doing in Clearwater. So overall, I thought it was a great experience, a really special opportunity, a great way to get involved. And really, you can watch so much with what happens on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube to really get a sense of cultural immersion. But to be there on the ground, engage, and really represent the city in person was a really special opportunity. So thank you for this chance tonight. I'm more than happy if you have any questions.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all you do. We've been watching you for years over in Tampa and throughout Tampa Bay and throughout the state, appearing on panel discussions and doing things that are great for Sean Schrader, but they're great for Clearwater, because everywhere you go, you remind people where you're from, and that's a great thing. And now, I don't know where you were at the other day, but it looked like you were overseas, maybe in Japan again, presenting on a panel. And Sean, we just can't tell you how much we appreciate that as a city council and as a city, to have bright, young, talented folks like yourself out there representing our city throughout the world. And thank you for that very fascinating experience, and thank you for all you do to help us promote Clearwater and show the best and brightest that we produce here.
Well, thank you very much. And I got to tell you, I like the local panel discussions more, because any of the international stuff, you always got to invest in the more leg room. I at least do, for the seats. Otherwise, tough flight. But thank you very much. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you for being here
Thank
tonight.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.